So I wanted to make a quick video for you to include some of the info that I would as if you were test driving with me here in Montana. I wanted to start by explaining essentially what the Prius is in regard to equipment, some of the questions that you may have had about some of the buttons and displays. So let's take a look. So now I'm in the Prius 2, which is the entry-level Prius. There's no Prius 1. So this essentially is the base. It owns 80% of my new car Prius sales. So I see it much more often, obviously, in used. And it is the 2012 that we're talking about. The gray 2012 with 15,000 miles is a Prius 2. So I'll show you what that means. One of the things that you can see is it's a cloth seat inside, and it has what I think are the essentials. Cruise control, heat, air conditioning, power windows, and then displays to watch your fuel economy. So, you know, I think it's a really well-equipped car. When you go up from the Prius 2 to 3, 4, 5, you see leather, navigation, heated seats, some of those kind of creature comforts, but all of the cars intrinsically are the same. One thing that all of the Priuses have is a digital climate control system. You know, this screen may look something similar to what you drove over the weekend, but it looks like a lot of buttons, and I think it's actually very well compartmentalized. We have climate controls here, and again, it's a digital readout, so we can see really well our temperature, what vents we're using, and the outside temperature display, as well as the fan strength. And then below that, these are my favorite parts of this redesign, which is from 2010 on to the present generation models. And those are the, you know, ones that I'd recommend as long as budget allows, because it's a little bit bigger of a motor, but you're gonna get that 50 miles per gallon versus like a 47 or 48 miles per gallon in the previous generation, which was 2005 to 2009. So anyway, these are 3 of my favorite things. You've got 4 total driving modes. You have a normal driving mode that's going to return you the 50 miles per gallon. Then you have an eco mode. It's going to desensitize the accelerator a little bit, the throttle, make it feel a little sluggish, but it's going to get you better fuel economy. So for people that I say are buying this car for fuel economy, I say eco mode 90% of the time. Power mode does the opposite. If you're perhaps merging onto a busy interstate or trying to pass a semi truck, that's a good mode to give you all of the available horsepower from both the gas and the electric motor. It's a very tangible oomph that you can feel. And lastly, EV mode, it's telling the gas motor not to turn on. So it's saying run on electric only. It's a finicky mode, the most finicky of the 3. It requires a full battery charge, and you have to be going less than 25 miles per hour. So it's of the 3, it's the mode that I use the least, because this car it's smart. It knows when it doesn't need the gas motor on, and it turns it off on its own. So I like that they've given us some other ways to manipulate our driving habits and to try and get better fuel economy and better power when we need it. But again, the car does quite a bit on its own. So if you just want to leave all 3 off and just drive on that normal driving mode, that's what's going to get you that 50 miles per gallon, no problem. The actual displays on the Prius don't come up well on this recording camera, so I'm going to throw up a couple pictures now to just show you what the displays look like and how you can utilize them to try and get better mileage, you know, when you're on the road for long trips, or just as you're bopping around town, something to check in on to watch your fuel mileage. So let's take a look. So here are a few screens that you can see in the Prius. The top left corner, where you see the miles per hour, fuel gauge, and instant miles per gallon, will be there permanently. So you'll always be able to see that. And then the other 3 screens are ones that you can scroll through independently to watch your fuel mileage. My favorite 2 screens here is first the energy monitor in the top right corner. That's actually showing you with the gas motor, the electric motor, and the battery what's running the car at any given moment. So I really like that screen. The other is the eco, the hybrid system indicator, and that's going to just help you watch battery charge and how much fuel you're using. So other than drive it, that's the stuff that I go over with people on test drives. It's the information that I try and give them to just really make them aware of why I think this machine is really, really, really neat. And the biggest thing, Kim, that I always want to explain to people is, first of all, it's proven. I mean, this is a hybrid system that we've had since '97. It has really high owner loyalty, which I know I've mentioned to you, and really low cost of ownership. Something big to consider is that since we're taking a lot of pressure off of the gas motor by pairing it with an electric motor, we're extending the life of the vehicle because we're not putting so much stress on some of these wearable items. We've eliminated a lot of belts and pulleys and wearable items that would go or have to be replaced in other cars. And I use the example often of the brakes, and we talk about regenerative braking, and I know I sent you an article about that. But further explained is that the way this battery the way the car charges the battery is by braking. And so it takes that energy that you had going 60 miles an hour and puts it into the battery to charge it, so that you actually don't use your friction brake until really just before that moment that you come to a stop. So it's not uncommon for me to see Priuses here in my service drive with 150,000 miles that have 85 to 90% of their friction brake pad life left. So when we're talking about overall cost of ownership, it's really, really low, and that's one of the things that really participates in the high resale value of the Prius. So again, please just let me know what questions you have. I look forward to connecting with you further, and I hope that this video helped kind of give you a feel for the car and of course why I love it so much. Thanks, Kim.